I think Quan produced this.
Play this record as frequently as possible.
You know what time it is? Black Nerd Planet, yo. I screwed up on
It's Black Nerd Planet. You know what it is.
Stumble.
Fatality.
I was tripping and falling and can't get up. Nah, but well, what's up, yo? It's Black Nerd Planet. It's me, Marlon. Marlon out here in these streets.
Marlon the fish and me, Jordan the river.
You know, I'm Nemo's dad out here, in case you didn't know. I've been looking for him, but, you know, as you've seen, we found him.
It's episode 17 of your hopefully favorite nerd culture podcast.
Or
coming to you.
You know, throwing it in a rotation.
Throw it in the rotation. Put it first on the playlist every Wednesday at approximately 6 a.m. in the morning.
Or something, just in case. No, I'm just playing.
Well, man, what's up with the boy Holloway?
Man, I actually... Well, I just started it, but I started watching Sons of Anarchy.
Because, oh,
wow.
I've never watched that.
Yeah, me either. Everybody keep on telling me it's tight. Heard a lot of people at work talking about it's tight, and a couple of my homeboys telling me that it's a good show. And so, but besides, a lot of you don't know this about me. Maybe not. Maybe have been on my Instagram. I'm not sure.
Creeps.
I like, I'm a big motorcycle enthusiast.
Oh, yeah.
I like to ride a bike. I like to get on a motorcycle. That's a big thing for me. So I felt like, which obviously it makes sense. I should watch it if I'm into that kind of stuff. So I'm checking it out. Also, I'm excited about the Mayans. That's like a spinoff of that.
Is that this year?
Yeah, that's like next week on the 4th.
Oh, wow.
So I'm trying to check that out, but I want to at least dive into Sons of Anarchy before I mess with, the Mayans.
Yeah, they had a lot of promotion for Mayans at Comic-Con at San Diego this year.
Yeah, it looks pretty. I mean, I think that looks cool, which I guess is basically,
the same thing.
Essentially, so I guess I was just, I don't want to say, but I may have been being racist. I may have to go back.
Where is this headed?
Because, I wasn't really interested in, first seeing Sons of Anarchy. I wasn't really interested in it. I guess, I'm watching it now. Especially because Peggy, a.k.a. Leela, I can't remember her real name, but the voice actress of Leela from Futurama is in that show. Okay. And I like her, at least as Leela anyway. And then, I seen a commercial for the Mayans, and it was basically a Sons of Anarchy commercial. Yeah. And I'm just like, man, that look tight. Oh, I'm about to turn that on right now. When that come out? So I don't know, maybe but
But no, I was gonna say in response to that, because I haven't watched Sons of Anarchy either. I mean, I like you said, a lot of people say it's good, but there's so many shows where it's people say it's good and they hype it up, or I'm not necessarily interested in that kind of whatever. I mean, I don't even necessarily know what it's about, but it's about a biker gang. It looks like, what I mean? So
mobbing through the streets, basically.
Didn't really catch my eye in that way, but in terms of them throwing a spin-off with Mayans, it's that's always a tricky thing where, are they gonna just kind of go with the same show but just a different cast of people, or are they gonna really try to differentiate it?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
And I think they kind of are picking up where Sons of Anarchy kind of left off in terms of that. I feel like, what I mean? Yeah, just being kind of in that universe or whatever.
Yeah, that would. I'm sure there's gonna be cameos and stuff. For sure. There's no way they wouldn't.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, because even in the first episode, that was the first thing that happened was the Mayans pulled up and sprinkled on their turf. So I mean,
there's already a connection,
right? So it's probably plenty more to come. It only makes sense.
Yeah. Shoot, what have I been up to? Well, my wife made us get a new car, so that's a fun thing. Hit the auto ad lib.
You got an ad lib for it.
We saw, me and my wife saw Crazy Rich Asians over the weekend.
Okay.
Finally got a date night out without the kiddos. And that's a really good movie, man. Like, I don't know if you're on the rom-com train at all.
No, I'm not on the train, my dude.
You gotta... This one's like... It's funny because... Well, I mean, I don't even know if it's necessarily funny, but it was like a big thing because it's, you know, people in the media like, oh, it's a good movie about, you know, Asian people. And like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of the typical, like, oh, it's a kung fu movie or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like race baiting and stuff, I guess. Sure. But it's really good, man. Like,
I did see that it had Aquafina in it.
Yeah, and I didn't know who she was until that movie, but she's really funny.
Yeah, I like Aquafina. She was in what's that show? It was a show on Hulu. Dang, I can't even think of what it's called now, and I should because it was a video game show. But she was on that show basically as the little main character's like friend or whatever.
Yeah,
she worked
she's
at
like a YouTuber or something.
Yeah,
yeah. What's like
sure.
AWK Wafina, something weird. But
YouTube,
like, little Asian girl, the lady. But she was funny, and there was like an article that came out, like an opinion article, talking about how, like, you know, some Asian people or Asian Americans kind of have like a you know, they associate with hip hop culture and stuff like that. And I didn't really read it in depth, but you know how sometimes when people like appropriate, you know, hip hop or black culture or whatever, they kind of, you know, there's offense taken. But I didn't think her performance or like her character in that movie, you know, the way she acted was like annoying.
Yeah,
I don't know if it would have been a white person, if it would have made it different. But I mean, even then, like, it didn't seem like she was trying to be like, oh, I'm acting black or acting ghetto or something.
Would you
know
feel
what I'm
the
saying?
same way if it was a black dude doing kung fu stuff?
See, I don't know.
Because I mean,
that's like, is that like a Black Dynamite thing? But that's not even necessarily the same.
Not like Black Dynamite really, because he
was
is like
acting like a soul brother.
But just like, I mean, you know, roles reversed basically. If it was just a black dude like in a you know, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, but he was just acting more, you know, I don't necessarily say like Asian-y, but if he was just being more like that rather than to just regularly be himself, or if you was saying that he wasn't being himself because he was acting like that.
I don't know. I guess I kind of relate it to, like, you know, like a lot of movies, especially like a decade or so ago, where it'd be like the weird, like nerdy, like white dude. Yeah. And he'd be like, oh, what up, my G, or something. What up, gangster? Like stuff like that. You'd be like, all right, like, it's kind of funny, but not really. Like, I don't know. Like, if it's not, I guess it's just like the delivery of it all.
I feel like in this particular scenario, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that it's okay because, I mean, just historically speaking, African American people love kung fu and Asian culture and stuff like hip-hop. That. And I mean, so it's always a weird mix. Yeah. You know, I mean, look at Wu-Tang. I mean, if you watch Dave Chappelle at all, then I know you've seen the racial draft, and they went to the Asians. So
that's funny. That's very true.
I mean, you know what I'm saying. So at least in this, you know what I feel. It's like a back and forth kind of. I feel like if anybody gonna get a pass, if you was gonna say, nah, man, that's cultural appropriation, you should not be. We can't talk. We can't even look in that direction. Man, we all East Coast. We all friends.
But besides all that, though, the mom from Constance Wu from Fresh Off the Boat is the main character. I can't remember the guy's name, her boyfriend or whatever. But it's a good like rom-com. Like a lot of rom-coms kind of, or just comedies in general, can just kind of be throwaway movies or whatever. But this one actually, like, the joke, I didn't find like any time through the movie where I was thinking like, oh man, this is kind of dragging, or if the jokes weren't hitting. Like, I felt like everybody's role was good and like the acting was good and all that type of stuff. It's a really good film. I wouldn't even say it's like a girl movie either. Like, I feel like anybody can watch it and have a good time. And it goes on both sides of, like, you know, what men are doing and what women are doing, like the situations they threw out there.
It's tough, man. You can't watch nothing, man. Toxic masculinity is crazy. If this was like 1989 and you told
2018
somebody
keywords,
you was watching around kind of like, oh yeah, so you one of those guys, huh?
you one of them, huh?
Jumping on you or something when anybody can watch anything.
Exactly.
That's crazy though. that even is a thing that you have to say. But speaking of that, well, not necessarily speaking of that, but just in that like spur of thought, I found out the name of that show, and it's Future Man.
Future Man?
Yeah, I think it's got Josh Hutcherson. I think that's
I've heard his name before.
Josh Hutcherson or Future Man?
Hutchin.
Oh yeah, you know who Josh Hutcherson is. That dude was on like the Hunger Games and all that stuff.
I've never watched that movie, honestly.
Oh yeah, but you've seen him before. He was on a lot of stuff. But that show,
yeah, I see now.
Yeah, that show was about him. He was playing this game, and it unlocked the key to the future, basically. And some people came back from the future, and blah 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 blah. And Aquafina was one of his friends. It was a cool show for it to be about video games, and I guess something that we could have discussed at some point on this show.
Yeah, I honestly never even heard of it.
It's a Hulu original, so
that's
it's
probably why.
Yeah, hush. You have.
I don't think I've watched any of their original shows.
Yeah, me either. Well, actually, I have.
What kind of person are you? Nah,
just crazy. Just forgot. Just going along like, yeah, you know what? No, I didn't. I don't like Hulu originals either. Oh wait, I do.
But besides that. Not really too much. Yeah, seeing that movie was pretty dope. Getting that car, whatever. Mm-hmm. Having a new car is cool for like the first 2 days, and then you're like, it's another car I gotta pay for. So
yeah, for sure. Back at it again with the white vans.
But moving into the news or the topics for this week, I did pre-order Spider-Man,
which I have not, and I need to.
Which I, for a while I was like, I can wait. It's not going anywhere. Then the hype kind of got to me. I was like, well, I might as well just put this money down now.
Yeah.
And on the digital, you got to put the whole $64.19 on there. You can't do the $5 little hand thing.
Yeah.
But, I was cool with it. I kept debating if I was going to do the deluxe version or not. Which, and it's only the digital deluxe. So that was the only option. Mm-hmm. The only thing, you get the DLC pack with that. And you got like an exclusive pin you put on your bag or whatever. And that was the only thing I really wanted. But I was like, do I really need a pin? I could probably just find a cooler one somewhere else. I don't know. Mm-hmm. So I kept debating. I was like, do I want to spend the extra $20? I don't know. And I was thinking like the DLC wasn't going to come out until like next year, I thought. But then today, or yesterday, they announced that the first DLC is coming out October 23rd. And I'm like, oh, great. Which if you get the DLC by itself, like the whole season pass is $25. So I guess that is the benefit of getting it. With the deluxe, is like $5 off, whatever. But
and I heard that around town, word on the street is that my buddy was telling me some of the GameStops was running out of pre-orders for it. So
that's weird. For a game like that, running out of pre-orders.
I mean, it's a word on the street. Could be, could not be. Yeah. Who knows? But even for that to be the word on the street, somebody had to have. You know what I'm saying?
That's odd.
So I don't know. But
unless they were just talking about the system bundle running out. That's what I
maybe
could see.
They was talking about that.
But the game running out, this is going to be like, top 3 release of the year in terms of
for sure.
Just numbers out there, I would think.
But
so.
I guess that kind of segues, because even if it did, I feel like I'm leaning more towards like digital, getting the digital anyway, instead of getting the
just
disc.
For the ease factor.
Yeah, and just
having it there. That was my thought process, because I was like, it comes out on the 7th. It's probably going to be available like midnight or whatever. So try to play like a couple hours before work or something.
Yeah.
But, instead of having to get off work, go to GameStop, get the disc and put it in. And plus you get to preload it, I think on the 4th. So you don't even have to worry about doing it that day. And it's probably going to be a day one update like everything else. But that's better than doing the whole thing But yeah, just in like right now, I'm like, man, I just want to go digital. Even though for like Spider-Man, I have a lot of Spider-Man collectibles. I'm like, maybe I want the case just to have it.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, at some point in time, it's gonna be a cheaper game, and I'll probably just be able to just buy the disc. You know, like $20 or something.
Exactly.
Way down the road. It's not like I need it.
For sure. So that's cool.
But, you know, it's funny because, like, a lot of people got mad that they're talking about the release date for the first DLC being October 23rd when the game's not out yet. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, everybody knew there was going to be DLC.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, I guess because they actually put a date and are talking about it before the game's out, people are upset. I mean, obviously, there's everybody that's like, oh, man, DLC, man, they're always putting that stuff out there, and the game's not fully there all the time anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, come on, man. Like, you can't, like, have everything. Like, you know what I'm saying?
And with the DLC, I feel like it's not just finishing the game. It's like additions. Or it's like it's like a living creation where they are touching it and editing and brushing it up.
Exactly.
Not daily, but you know what I'm saying? At a regular, I mean, it's obviously taking more time to reach us, but it's just like Fortnite. With Fortnite, they do updates like every week, basically, at this point, where it's some new dance that they seen on Instagram or something or whatever. But that is like a living, breathing thing that is almost like you touching it fresh out the oven, basically, from, you know, getting it from the developers. So I think it's cool. At the same time as I can see why it's kind of like a pain, I guess.
Yeah, but I guess like if a lot of people make it seem like companies wouldn't have done this back in the day if they had the option.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like, and that's to say that like there wasn't a whole bunch of sequels of games back in the day. Like there's like how many Sonic games on the Genesis, or like 20 Street Fighter 2s and 3s and stuff. Like,
and just go back and look at the like release dates and see how close they actually were to one another.
Like they were pumping out games like at a way higher pace back in the day, it seems to me. Like now they just have like a different outlet for it. Mm-hmm. But
they can just beam it on you, you know, put it on you right there.
I guess I did lie to myself though, because I thought I read the DLC was coming out next year, but all the 3 parts of the season pass are going to be out by the end of December.
I mean, that's cool though. I'm with that because then it is like finished. You know what I'm saying? At least for you getting all this extra stuff plus the game or whatever before the end of the year. And then, you know, I mean, they ain't saying, and I am not saying that that's the end of it. But
yeah, they could always add something else. And I think it's cool because it's going to be, I mean, obviously the main game is one storyline. And it's going to have side missions and stuff like that. And based off of, like, the leaks I've seen or just, you know, rumor mill, it's at least, like, a 20-hour game in total, which 20 hours to me is just enough time, you know, for an open-world game where if it was any more than 20, it gets to a point where, like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, and having it DLC as an option, you know what I'm saying, if you want to go that route, which I'm sure I will. I hope I will.
Because that's just, like, for me, that's like Zelda. It's hard, like, at first it was like tight because it was new and exciting, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy, all the stuff you can do. But now it's like all the stuff you can do, man, it's so overwhelming. Like, I can't take it.
That's funny.
It's just, I mean, it's just such an open world game, and that is
just endless. And, you know, and that can be good and bad because, like we had said, you know, in the past, like I put, you know, 130-something hours into Zelda, and you know, I beat the main story, and like I would say I got the majority of stuff in the game, but I never went and got everything. But I don't know. It's like a case by case basis because some games, the repetition can be repetition, you know what I mean, where it's like tedious and you're just like, alright, so I'm just about to go get this next little collectible they put on the list. But that's what made Zelda fun, the Breath of the Wild, is that they didn't put everything on a list for you. That's like the quest are, but in terms of finding stuff, like they weren't like, you know, there's this, or even if there was like the, you know, that would kind of give you a clue and stuff like that, but it wasn't like and I think that was like my problem with like Horizon or like an Assassin's Creed, where it's just like, here's 100 icons on the map, go find it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, all right, dang. Like, you know, it feels like a chore in a way.
Yeah, that's true. I feel you on that rip.
But yeah, Spider-Man will be here in no time.
That's cool. Next week.
This year is almost over.
That's crazy.
It's very crazy. But moving on off of that, I went and got Yoku's Island Express off the Nintendo eShop on the Switch a few days ago. And it's a pretty fun game. I got it for like $9 with like, it was like on sale for like 12 or something. I got it for 9 or whatever with my dollars I had saved up on the eShop rewards. And it's basically just a game about it's like a dung beetle pushing around the ball or whatever. And but it has like ping pong. It has pinball like gameplay in it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a side scroller, like platform or whatever. But like certain parts of the land you're on have pinball. What do you want to call those? I don't even know what you call them things. But the flappers or whatever,
yeah.
flappers. But it's pretty cool. Like, and of course you like gain like new abilities like going out. You got to figure out where to hit them on like the pinball courses that you get into like the different spots, and like you get like quests to go in different parts of the land and different items to pick up. I'm explaining it horribly, but it's a fun game, especially like I only spent the $9 on it.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at it for a while. It's regularly like $20. But it's pretty decent game so far. I've probably put like a couple 2 hours in it maybe so far.
Yeah, that's cool. But
it's like we were talking about before, like with the different small games on the Switch. They're on all the consoles really, but just having it portably and having that option, like taking like bite-sized chunks out of a game, whatever, and kind of just going through the paces and stuff like that, and the way you kind of want to.
That's super
pretty
tight.
dope.
For sure. Speaking of that, I see, which kind of ties into also what I've been on, that Inky Pen is coming to the Switch, since you're talking about the Switch now.
Yeah. I thought that was cool. Like, it's a random, I think it's new. It's a whole new like app that's coming out.
That's what I clicked on the link that you had put in the show notes. That's what it was looking like based on what I was looking at. But I like to read comics online anyway. I'm kind of into that, and I've been reading Venom, and it kind of led me to reading Thor, because there was like a part in it was like, see Thor 5 or whatever. So I went to that, and then I'm looking at that. But it's cool because if I can have that, even though I guess it won't be as portable as like being on my phone or something, because you gotta have Wi-Fi to be on the Switch. But even still, if it's anything like what a Netflix is getting into right now, where I can just download a couple of books, and save them, and then just read them offline whenever I was away from the internet, which is slightly.
Yeah, I think with Inky Pen, which it is from the ground up built for the Nintendo Switch, which is like weird. Like I can't think of any other time where there's been a software or app, for a console in that way, where it's not even game based. Like, like it's a comic book app, which is dope to be on the Switch, obviously for the handheld purposes. I believe that it is supposed to be I don't think it has DC or Marvel on there, but it has like IDW and like different like smaller brands, which is still cool.
Yeah, that's
and that, what I'm saying, that's gonna bring a lot of new people to their brands, and that just helps a lot of different people. Obviously, Inky Pen and the different comic distributors out there that don't get as much play out there in the mainstream. That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
like something different option, because people have been waiting for Netflix to come out on there. Like, the Hulu's on there, which is like the only streaming app I believe on the Switch right now.
Yeah, I was wondering if there were any. I don't think I looked up any, but I was wondering.
I think Hulu's the only one, but I don't really. You got Hulu on your phone and everything else. It's kind of like, why put it on the Switch? Especially when the Switch battery doesn't go that long. Which, watching videos probably wouldn't hurt it as bad, but still it's kind of like, man, I got my phone, I can do that on. Plus, without Bluetooth support on the Switch, which is probably like one of my top 3 complaints right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as easy to sit with it and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm digging the Inky Pen thing. I'm wondering how much it's gonna cost, like yearly and all that. It's gonna be something
that'd be
cool.
tight though. Still, I'm with that.
Cause $8 a month, yeah, that's what it is. $8 a month,
not bad.
Unless that's a year, which would be weird, but probably $8 a month.
Yeah,
which is kind of standard for smaller things on there.
Mm-hmm.
Which, keeping on the Switch topics, the one of the Switch guys, I can't remember who it was now that I want to say it. I want to say Sakurai, but I'm probably wrong. They're talking about the operating system on the Switch and how simplistic they wanted it to be. And they said it only runs off of like 200 kilobytes of like memory, which to me is believable because the Switch really is just like a couple icons and like nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Which I want it to be like themes and stuff on there, but for them to like really like focus on it just being simplistic, I guess I can appreciate that.
Yeah,
because I don't want it to be like convoluted like some of the other consoles can be at times. Like, especially the Xbox, which I just think is horrible, but,
it's
whatever.
so confusing with the Xbox.
It's so bad. Like, some people think it's good, and I don't know how. Like, getting to the shop is weird, or even, like, finding games in the shop doesn't make sense.
Man, I have a hard time just getting back to the menu screen. Like,
yeah,
I'm playing
man.
a game, I don't even know. And the Xbox confuses me so much.
Man, I don't like it at all.
I can't get into parties. I gotta get like 8 invites before I can actually join a party.
Man, I don't think I've ever did a party on the Xbox One. Like, I literally have got my Xbox One and I played online like by myself, but I don't think I've played with like anybody else on there. It's been a long time since the 360 days, but on the operating system tip, this is like something random. I think there like an update came out on PlayStation just this week. It's out now, I believe, where the search engine got updated on the store, on the PlayStation store. But before, like, this was like a big complaint on there. Is like the way you look for games, you got to scroll through the letters, and it goes to the next one that can be a possible letter. But now it's just you can just type in the stuff with like the normal like keyboard thing. It's like, come on, like how, like why did they think the first idea was any good?
I guess because it was just like, by the time you spell it out, you can click it. Man, I don't know, because they was going with that like side open up.
Yeah,
side.
They was trying to be different, trying to be trendy. Like, nah, bruh.
Just leave it alone. Just give us a regular.
Some
search
things
box.
can stay normal.
We good with a regular, boy.
Oh man, you see doing here Amazon cutting off that 20% discount for the Prime members. I know. I think they started doing that first with Sony games, but it's moving to everybody now.
The turnoff?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what I heard was that it was kind of that because they're getting rid of that Twitch Prime stuff too. And I don't know if that's because Twitch ain't doing those numbers right.
I don't think they're discontinuing it, but I think they're like doing some different way to approach.
It's like ads now. You gotta pay for it. It's like separate. Like you can't get Twitch without ads through Amazon.
Yeah. So, if you subscribe on actual Twitch, then you won't get ads, I guess is the thing.
I see what you're saying, because I definitely got mine.
I saw it, and I didn't even think to put it in for the...
I got mine through Amazon Prime too, so, I mean, through my Twitch through that.
Yeah,
that's how I got that Twitch stuff on Fortnite, because I wasn't about to pay for that.
Yeah. It's too many subscriptions, man. Like, it's cool that Amazon and Twitch or Amazon owns Twitch or whatever, but yeah, for them to, businesses are going to do what they do in terms of keeping all the money for themselves, but for the consumer, them making changes, will it be a lot of an effect to me? Not really. How many times will the ads affect me, or will I be, if I'm not able to skip the ads, that might be when I'm upset. Especially if I'm trying to watch like a tournament or something on Twitch and it's like deep in the game. I'll be like, all right, this is kind of corny, but they're just kind of following suit, with the 20% with like Best Buy and even GameStop now, like they got the Pro plan. And then they did the Elite Pro, which I went ahead and signed up for like last year because I was like, why not, I guess. But now they're discontinuing that. And I'm just like, all right, GameStop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's just like, well, they're not doing it, so I'm not either.
Should have known better. And I knew GameStop was on that funny stuff anyway because they was running out of money. So I was like, hey, man, can you buy this? Hey, what if we sell you the same thing we just sold you?
It's got to be used, though.
We going to wipe it off one time, and I'm going to do the breath on it. And get in there. If I sell it back to you, can we charge you a little
this
extra?
Open game that's on the shelf is new. Thanks.
I just bought this tea, so when I wipe the disc on my shirt, it's not gonna scratch it up.
Microfiber T-shirt.
I got you. All for the low price of extra.
But this I thought was very interesting. Is this Xbox All Access? I don't know if you've seen this.
Yeah, I had just clicked on a link. It just like had popped up about the games that you could get free with gold or whatever. But that was all
so basically, Xbox All Access was announced this week. Essentially, what they're gonna do is kind of like cable providers, I guess, where you just get a subscription you get an Xbox. It's either an S or an X Xbox. It's just hard to say. Xbox One X or S. And you get a subscription to Xbox Live Gold and I think to Game Pass. This is catering towards, like the casual consumer, like, the moms or dads out there that, I guess they're thinking like it's a deal. I believe over the course of like the 2 years plan subscription they give you, it equals out to like buying an Xbox, which I guess in a way like that is a deal, but at the same time it's like this is straying away from like owning anything. You know what I mean? Like I don't really think I would be in the business. Like even if like my kid was like, oh, I want an Xbox, for myself. Like I feel like I would just go ahead and just buy one. And I'm not, what I'm saying? I don't want to get a subscription for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though I guess if I could afford it. But just like mentally, I'm like, why would I do that?
Right.
Like, this should be mine. Like I shouldn't be renting it like a cable.
That's
box.
how I felt about like GameFly, because I had that for a little bit, a couple of times on and off. But I was just like, damn man, I want to keep these games. I don't want to keep sending them back to get new games.
That's how long were you able to keep those games? I've never used
as long as you wanted to.
Like the money added up or something.
No, well you just paid a monthly price or whatever, monthly subscription. And you just kept the game for as long as you wanted to until you wanted a different game.
Okay, it's just one game at a time.
Well, it was different plan packages, so you could get like 3 games for $25.99, whatever that kind of. Basically, like how Netflix used to have that DVD deal, a part of the plan. You get like 4 DVDs at a time. But it was just like, damn man, I definitely want to keep these games. Which they let you keep them, like, and you could buy them from them at like a cheaper price. Yeah, like it was a used game also too. So that was cool, but it just wasn't the same. Yeah.
So according to IGN, it says Xbox All Access lets consumers pay for an Xbox One X or S in monthly installments when they commit to 2-year Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Game Pass subscriptions. Blah da 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 da. Xbox One bundle costs $34.99 per month for 24 months, while the S is $21.99 for 24 months. Yeah, I'm not doing it.
But I guess if you lease anything, I mean, if you lease anything else or like, if you do like furniture like that, then you might as well. Why not? They sell PlayStations and Xboxes at Rent-A-Center, so now it just makes sense. You could rent it through Rent-A-Center through Xbox.
I mean, like here it says if you get the X bundle, you're really only saving maybe like $20 if you were to buy all that stuff normally. The S bundle, you save about $130, which I guess is decent, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna say I'm against it. Like I just want to own it.
Just go to Rent-A-Center, put it in, bro.
Go to the pawn shop,
bro. You can rent that mug, no problem.
I mean, and I don't know if PlayStation would think about doing this, but it's probably depending on how well Xbox, this whole thing goes.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox and Microsoft is in a whole different situation already, where even like they have Game Pass, which I think is a good deal, but I'm not going to do it just because I really don't mess with my Xbox too much.
Yeah.
But that you can play, like if you buy Forza or any other Xbox game, you can play it on the PC. But they're kind of like, I don't know, I guess they're in the way, they're like, well, we already own the software, so either way we're kind of winning right now.
You just need all the money. That's all. It's cool.
Just be a part of a different market, do different things, which is something all the consoles really have to do. It's just have like differences, you know what I mean? Because Nintendo obviously is always going for something different. And I feel like now Xbox is kind of putting themselves in a different bracket again, you know what I mean? Where Sony is, and Sony's going to do what they do, and, they're in the lead, so they kind of feel like they don't have to do as much, I guess, besides make the games they've been making. But it's cool to see that, for consumers out there, gamers of whatever type, there's different options, if you want to lease a system or buy an Xbox normally or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess it's just good to see that there's different ways to go about
There's
it.
different options to put that game system in your household. We want to fill your household with our game consoles. So, if you want to go buy one and then you want to go lease another one after that'd be perfect. And actually, you can lease out about 2 or 3 of them. Put one in the kids' room and the other kids' room, in your bedroom. Everywhere you go, we want an Xbox in your house.
I wonder what like at the cable box when they, your plan is over and they're like, yeah, we gonna need that thing back, bruh. Like, I wonder how Microsoft is gonna be about that.
They're gonna slide in like, hey, but did you remember? You can use the Xbox as a cable box.
Oh, man.
I don't know if you forgot.
Did you ever try that?
I think I might have, but I don't think I did, actually. Nah.
Yeah, I think I tried to connect it, but it just got weird. Like, I don't know if I was working it right. Like, I was like, let me see what this is about, but nah.
Who knows, man? Some of that stuff is just too... Besides, and we talking about Xbox, which is running Microsoft, so it's just really confusing. Man, have you ever tried to get on like a computer that was running like Windows 10 or any of like the new Windows?
Yeah, I think my computer at home has 10.
Oh, so you probably used to it, man. Because I tried to get on one not too long ago, and I was just like
what is this?
What? These boxes is folding up. What? Where's the start menu at?
10 is weird.
Crazy, man. Microsoft is a fool, boy.
Man,
they love
funny.
to complicate it up. How's about the hardest way we can do this? Let's slap a lease on it.
Because I think 8 and 10 are like similar in look. But I think they were basing everything off of like touchscreen and tablet like accessibility, and it's just like,
come on, man. Bro. You're still making laptops, man. You're still making regular computers. What about the ones that's just getting a laptop that don't got the touchscreen that can't flip? If I fold my laptop over, it's gonna break. It's crazy.
But moving off of those chumpy chumps, got a little random one. There's this game called Blade Strangers. It's a fighting game. And it has different like random characters from different games, like Code Princess, which I've never played. But 2 are like the surprising characters in that. There's one is Shovel Knight, and the other one is Isaac from the Binding of Isaac game. I don't know if you've seen that before.
Is that like baby?
Yeah, that weird baby thing.
About that, yeah.
But it's an anime fighter essentially. And I just thought it was funny because Shovel Knight is in there like speaking Japanese, and he has like his moveset like is similar to how he plays in his video game, where he like digs in the ground and like shovels up some jewels or whatever, like digs a dude in the ground.
Yeah.
Or, like Isaac, like he cries a lot and stuff. So like one of his moves in that game is like crying and blah blah blah. Like it's just like I think it's like $40, and I was just like, man, I think I can swing this just because it looks cool. Like, but who else would I play with on that game?
Yeah, for sure. That's crazy.
It's made by Nicalis, I think, or Nicalis. I don't know how to say that developer's name, but they make a lot of anime type or Japanese games and stuff. So it looks pretty cool to me.
Yeah,
but I'm into that type of thing. I just thought it was cool that Shovel Knight is in there, like all like big and like anime.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I just seen. I was watching a little some gameplay or whatever, a little trailer of it. That's pretty crazy.
But moving on from that, Soul Calibur 6 is coming out. We've been talking about that a lot. It comes out in October. And Bandai Namco was basically like, yeah, if y'all don't buy this game, we're never making another one, so you better buy it. It's like, bruh, chill out, man. The game ain't even out yet. Like,
take it easy.
But they kind of like, they're like in this weird situation now where people are hype about it, and they're like, oh man, we've been waiting on Soul Calibur like 5 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 'cause nobody really messed with the last one like that, so they kind of bringing it back to good form.
Was the last one on the new generation?
The last one was on 360 and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I think it was 2012.
So come on, man. You talking about if we don't buy it, we should make us a new one then, man. Where you been at?
It's like, yeah, if you don't buy it, whatever. Like, it's over with. It's like, bruh, come on.
How about you make it first, and then we'll see if we can buy it or not.
This comes back to like the DLC conversation where, they haven't even announced the full roster for the main game yet. They announced a new character, like a brand new character the other day called Aswell, and then like the next day they're like, oh yeah, here's the first character for the DLC. It's like, whoa, buddy, like, wait a minute. like, this is where it gets out of control. Damn. Like, they haven't announced everybody yet. And then the first DLC character, which is a day one, like, you can have her on Tira, you can have on day one. They're like, yeah, if you bid the season pass, it's like, come on, bruh.
That's crazy.
Like, okay, I understand DLC for fighting games is just a thing now. But y'all haven't said anybody out the whole roster yet. The game's not out. And then you're like, oh yeah, if you spend this extra whatever amount of money, you're going to get her. Like,
you're not going to trick me into buying this game. I mean, I'm saying I want it, but you're not about to guilt me like, oh, it's DLC for you.
Like, come on,
hang
man.
It up. It's DLC.
She's like
you like to pay $5.99 extra.
She's like an OG character, but I guess like in the timeline of this game, like certain people aren't supposed to be in it based off of the timeline, so that's kind of why she's in it that way. But at the same time, it's just like, come on, man, I could have like waited till the game came, like, a day after the game came out to say this, I could do that, like, day one DLC for fighting. It was like, come on, bro, like, y'all really crazy. Trying to get this money right now. Because
just put her on there then, if that's the case. How can you say you got DLC? We don't even know who all is actually part of the cast.
Yeah,
that was a regular character, and they was like, man, these pockets, man, they getting kind of tight. Can't breathe.
Kind of broke right now. What's another $5 to them?
DLC. Oh, yes, we got it.
Throw it out there.
New character.
Yeah, that's like the different side of DLC for me. It's just like, all right, man, like you haven't even like did the whole shebang yet, and you're like, all right, here's this fighter that clearly could be in it. If y'all just flip a switch.
If you didn't know that she wasn't in it before, wait, actually, DLC.
Like at least like a couple weeks, I'm like, maybe, da-da-da-da-da. Nah, it's not happening like that.
That's crazy. DLC, I mean, like we were saying earlier, it is what it is. It's a good thing when it's good, and it's a bad thing when it's bad. It's rough, man. It's a rough game to play. It's a tough gamble.
It's a tough game out here for this whole man. But last thing I got on the docket for me, personally, might be the whole show. I don't know. So, Cyberpunk 2077, which I'm hyped for. Whenever it finally comes out, I'll be even more hyped. They put out the gameplay, which I believe was shown at like E3 and at this Gamescom convention they just had over the weekend. It's like 48 minutes of gameplay, which setting up to them showing the gameplay. I was telling you, that before when it happened, where they just got on CD Projekt Red, got on Twitch, and they just started up a random stream. Like, I don't think they had announced they were gonna do it, but they just popped up and they put like, cause the whole Cyberpunk thing, cyber da 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 da. They put up the little like screen, like computer data table, whatever going on. It was like changing a little bit over like the course of like 10 minutes or whatever it was up. And I think it was like 1 o'clock Eastern is when it started, and they pulled out the 48 minute demo they showed. The only problem with the demo I had was like they had a narrator over it, which is fine because it's a new game, like nobody knows what it is really, so he's kind of like explaining it to you, but it's like this is gonna get kind of crazy right now. Look at him pick up this gun, like man, this is kind of corny, but the game, man, like I talked about it on like post E3 or pre E3 stuff. Like, man, it looks so good. Like, I'm a big Witcher fan, which that CD Projekt made The Witcher. But this one's a first-person action RPG. And they kept, saying that throughout. Like, remember, this is an RPG. This is going to be, your choices matter. Like, the stuff that you do in this game is going to change up everything. Like, like they show you a mission. Like, they show you gunplay. They show you like the created character. Like, you can be a man or a woman. Either way, the name is gonna be the same, but the properties you put into the character, is gonna depend on so many things.
Right.
Like there's like 6 stats, like a cool factor, which changes like your street cred. The different, how you work with guns and stuff like that. And just during the gameplay. Like they show the shooting, I thought was crispy. Like the graphics look crispy. Like the whole time they're like, oh man, like this isn't even really what it's necessarily gonna look like. This could change over the course of development and stuff. It's like, man, this game like Dana look like it come out like tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was looking like that good. And they show like a mission where you can go, like you get picked up by this guy in this limo, and he's just like, yeah, man, if you do this for me and blah blah blah, I can do this for you. And you can, like, they tell you, you could go about infiltrating this area to get this this information, like one of however many different ways. Like either you can just stealth your way in, and not try to shoot anybody, or you could kill the person and just try to steal it, or go guns a-blazing and blah blah blah. And, like everything transitions to something else. Like, cause you talk to this one like cop lady or whatever, and she's like, "Oh yeah, if you go in here and do this for me, I'll be this, and that for you and everything." And there a couple people like on IGN that were saying like, you could have went about this mission like stealth in, and you could have told this person yes or no, and this and that. If you would have did that, then that person may have died. They wouldn't be there the rest of the game. Or if you did that, they might be there. Like just different like popping up and stuff like that. And it's like weird because how video games are always just like say stuff like that where oh man, everything you do is gonna matter. But it like just trusting CD Projekt Red as a developer and knowing what they're capable of. And the time it seems they're taking on the game, and like looking at the gameplay for anybody that hasn't seen it, like it seems like they really are kind of crafting it where like this is an RPG experience where like what you do actually means something instead of it just being like words on like the sales paper. I don't know, man. I know I've been talking about it to you a lot, so I hope like you kind of dig and look at it, because it's definitely like something like to think about in terms of.
Yeah.
I don't even not even necessarily think about it, just something to look at and be like, have a different opinion on.
Yeah, it kind of looks like to me, what it reminds me of is kind of like Mass Effect. Yeah.
And that was kind of my thought process too, is it has like it's like a mix between like Mass Effect, but since it's first person, it kind of has like the Fallout look to it. Which I like both of those games also. I like Witcher more, I think, so it kind of makes me probably swayed a little bit in my opinion. But when it comes to like, I think that's just what I think I'm really wanting like to see more of, is how much like, which I don't want to get spoiled on the game, but just like how much, being able to customize your character and like going about things, in different ways is actually going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Because like they even show you like stuff that is kind of trivial in video games, like getting like an upgrade. Like there's one point they show you like you go to get this upgrade like on your like bionic arm or whatever, and it's like a part of like the story going on. It wasn't just like, you know, you go to a menu and you're like, oh, I want a gun on my hand, but it actually like showed you like, you know, dude putting the stuff on and everything. So I'm assuming like, you know, you can go back to that guy like multiple times during the game, and that's gonna keep happening and stuff like that. And it just kind of brings like a little bit more like in depth of like, you know, feeling like you're actually that person instead of just feeling like it. I mean, obviously a video game, but you know, you kind of want to have that immersion in a way.
Yeah, I feel you on that action.
Because I know you. I don't think you play like a lot of games like in that vein, I guess. You know what I mean? Where it's that much.
Yeah, not like choose your own fate, except for like Until Dawn.
Yeah. Which that's a good example. Which I need to beat that game.
That's
Speaking of it,
that's the only kind of thing that I played like choose your. Besides like Mass Effect, but I only played the first Mass Effect and I did not beat it. So,
oh man, you got to play Mass Effect 2.
I don't know, like, you know, the whole what's crack-a-lacking, what's really going on in terms of like what you can do, what kind of romances you can get into, what kind of stuff is Shepard really got going on. I didn't really dive that deep into that game, so.
Yeah, and another thing that I thought with the customizing, like, you know, usually in RPGs, they're kind of just like, you know, you're an archer, you're a magician or whatever, but this one, or like, you know, like your personality is kind of shaped in that one way. But on this one, like they show like you can give different answers, like who's your childhood hero, or what's something that happened in your life that kind of changed your, you know, mind or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
And like, it's, you know, giving like a different, like, it's because that stuff does like matter in like real life. You know, that changes you as a person instead of you just being like, anybody can be a magician or something.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
You know, who are you as a person and stuff like that.
Definitely.
But yeah, I don't know if I have too much to say about the fact that I hope they put a release date out.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the gameplay right now, because I was gonna watch it when you told me about it that first day, but I don't know, you know how I get down, so I just hadn't checked it out yet. But just looking at what I've seen so far, it's definitely looking crispy for sure.
Yeah, and it's funny because, you know, as much as I'm saying like it looks really good, it's always weird to look at like a gameplay demo because, one, you're not playing it yourself, and they're showing you what they want you to see. So it's kind of like your opinion is kind of, in a way, like kind of manipulated. You know what I mean? Because I can sit here and say it looks good, but like, how does it really feel to play it?
Exactly.
And stuff like that. And because it's not even like necessarily like a lot of the stuff looks like something new, but I guess it's just the inner workings of it. Yeah. Which is why I guess I'm just like really looking forward to like how much like customization and detail you get to have on the immersion level, and the route you get to take, and how much, you know, people dying or the answers you give is really gonna change up everything. Right. And I thought it was cool because like you get to like do like weird. I mean, this don't sound like I'm condoning drug use, but like it's like cool because like, you know, it's futuristic cyberpunk. So like when you get like a weird inhaler drug thing, and it gives you like the ability to like slow down time and like shoot people and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just something that's gonna be cool to see unfold whenever it finally comes out. Probably, I'm gonna say it comes out next winter, but you know, we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. That seems ideal.
You got anything else on the list, man?
No, I think we covered everything. I think everything what I had to say, I talked about. And if not, and I'll talk about it next time, or the time after that, or the next time.
Time is relative.
It's linear. Wait, is it not linear? It's supposed to be like a circle. Oh, no.
And that's for other podcasts, the Conspiracy Nerd Planet.
It's crazy.
Oh,
you don't know what kind of wormholes you fall into listening to this podcast.
Time warps, quantum leap episodes, anything.
Next thing you know, we'll be recording this episode. The next episode will be recorded in the future.
Think about it.
And on that, I'm out.
And I'm out too. Black Nerd Planet. Peace.
I think Quan produced this.